David Matthews, and this is my treasure chest. Let's open it up. Now, as a boy, and indeed later in life, I rather liked explosives. There's something so punchy about them that appeals to my dramatic instincts. Indeed, as teenagers, my brothers and I built a number of rockets and explosives, all with special detonators, some electric and some physical. I don't recommend this at all, unless your two brothers happen to be a budding research engineer and professor of physical chemistry, respectively. And even then, I don't recommend it. But there's always something amusing about flashes and bangs, isn't there? But today I want to talk a little about the problems of explosives. We use the term both for war materials and for the metaphor of losing one's temper. He absolutely exploded, we say. I've never been the wrong side of high explosives, except perhaps a moment ago, but my father certainly was. He, like my wife's father, was a conscientious objector, and for part of the war was on fire duty on the roofs of various buildings in London during the Blitz. The equipment that he was given was this. It's a stirrup pump, which still works and still has its original hose and nozzle. Here we are. I'll take this outside and show you how it works. So here we are outside. So this is the stirrup pump, and it's got a stirrup rather like that you have on a saddle. And here's the pump, and we can do this. Well, let's light something and put it out. Let's just see if we can put this out. Well, I wouldn't like to have been using this in the middle of the Blitz, would you? Let's resume. Well, my father throughout his life was clear in his Christian commitment to peace and reconciliation. He was a man of high principle, but always ready to douse the fires of anger and aggression wherever he encountered them. He carried a metaphorical stirrup pump and was indeed a peacemaker. As we learn from Matthew's Gospel, Jesus characterised these as blessed, for they shall be called children of God. My father died in his 80s. He was fit, but had an accident which broke his neck. The story is tragic and complicated in many respects, but it ended on the neurosurgical unit of the Royal London Hospital in Mile End Road. When he learnt that he was now paraplegic, his response was that he'd had a good life and was happy to meet his maker. He didn't want a drip and survived a further 2 weeks on what he specified as his diet: Coca-Cola and ice cream. The side room where he was placed resounded with laughter for 2 weeks, as many of his friends came to say goodbye, and with whom he exchanged amusing memories and stories of his life. He died quietly in his sleep. When I went back to his house, there was by the front door an unposted letter with the envelope addressed in his handwriting to the Fellowship of Reconciliation, which is the pacifists' organisation. I don't know what it contained, but out of respect to his obvious intentions, I put a first-class stamp on it and sent it off. And so from that time to this, I was fairly sure that the last word he wrote of any meaning, because of course he wrote the address underneath too, was the word reconciliation. The last word. But this week, and entirely out of the blue, came this letter addressed to me from the Fellowship of Reconciliation. I say out of the blue because I personally am not a member of the fellowship. And here, enclosed, was a tribute to the many different people acting as peacemakers in our current COVID blitz, here described as peace builders, who are blessed and who bless us with their work and devotion to duty. But then I saw on the envelope the full address of the Fellowship of Reconciliation. The Fellowship of Reconciliation, Peace House, 19 Paradise Street. And I realised that actually the last three words of meaning that my father wrote were probably reconciliation, peace, and paradise. A fitting sign-off to a life of peacemaking.